Hi there everyone and welcome to the latest episode of Classic Reviews. Today we will be having a not as in-depth look at a greatest hits CD by Whitesnake. The reason it probably won't be as in-depth is because I'm not going to do a full track by track. I'm only going to be talking about some of the songs on this CD in detail. The reason for this is because I own about 6 Whitesnake greatest hits CDs. So I don't want to keep repeating myself with songs that are on multiple CDs, if that makes sense. So I'm only going to be talking about I'm only going to be talking more in detail on songs that are just on this CD that I'm reviewing now, if that makes sense. So this is a Whitesnake rock album, which is the first of a Red, White and Blues trilogy that got released in 2020-21. So this is the White Rock album. It features songs starting from 1984's Slide It In album to 2011's Forevermore album. It starts strong with the big rock song that is Still of the Night, and it also features the songs Love Ain't No Stranger, Gimme All You Love, Here I Go Again, and Judgment Day. So now I'm going to do a bit of a track by track of the songs that are just on this CD. All of the songs on this CD have either been remastered or remixed, and the current band members like guitarist Joel Hoekstra, etc., have probably redone some guitar parts and stuff like that, etc. as well. Track 2 is a second strong opening song for this CD, and it's the song called Best Years. This is off Whitesnake's Good to Be Bad album that was released in April 2008, and the song features either Doug Aldrich or Red Beach playing a wild blues lick that opens this heavier Whitesnake song. The third song of this CD is called Tell Me How, and it's from the Forevermore album that was released in March 2011. Like the last song, it was written by David Coverdale and guitarist Doug Aldrich, and it is Doug Aldrich and Red Beach you hear again, churning out these blues rock riffs over David Coverdale loudly singing about whether he can win our love or not. Track number 5 is the song called All or Nothing. This song is one of the oldest songs on this CD, being from the game-changing Slide It In album that came out in early to mid 1984. Now, it doesn't get more classic sounding than this song. The guitar riffs you hear remind you of either early Whitesnake or Rainbow, along with some great John Lord keyboard riffs to match. And overall, this is a very fun sounding classic rock song. Track number 7 is the song Can You Hear the Wind Blow? This song is off the Good to Be Bad album, and it does have a rock you like a hurricane type hook to it. So yeah, it does have a tough sounding 80s rock feel to it with a big guitar sound and some shimmering keyboard playing to match. With all this going on, you have David Coverdale singing in that bluesy style that we all know and love. Track number 8 is the title track from the Restless Heart album. This is the first song we hear on here that's from the Restless Heart album, which is more of a David Coverdale solo album really that features Adrian Vandenberg on guitar. Despite this song not coming out till late 1997, it does have that classic Whitesnake feel to it, and it is one of the strongest songs, and I do personally feel that it is one of the strongest songs on this greatest hit CD. And of course, it does feature some great guitar playing from Adrian Vandenberg. Track number 9 is another strong song from the Restless Heart album, and it's the song called Anything You Want. This song was only featured on the Japanese edition of the Restless Heart album when it came out in 1997. And like the last song, it features some great guitar playing from Adrian Vandenberg and a great vocal performance from David Coverdale as well, with some soulful female background vocals just to add to it as well. Track 12 is the song called She Give Me, which is off David Coverdale's solo album Into the Light, which came out in 2000. Main thing you notice with this song, with the rhythm and the tempo and even the vocal effects, is that it's similar to the songs you hear on the Coverdale Page album, which is the album David Coverdale did with Jimmy Page in the early 90s. It sounds very similar to the song Shake My Tree from that Coverdale Page album. Anyway, the song She Gives Me features a brilliant guitar solo, and it is a pretty good song overall. Track 13, we go back to the Restless Heart album, and it's the song called Crying. Like the previous two Restless Heart songs, it features a great vocal from one of my all-time favourite singers, and some great guitar playing from Adrian Vandenberg as well. This is a full-on gritty blues song that does remind you of the Deep Purple song Mistreated. Track 14 is another bonus track from the Restless Heart album, and it's called Can't Stop Now. This is a hard-driving, energetic song with a confident type vocal from David Coverdale, with some pounding drums to match, and also a great Adrian Vandenberg guitar solo that does make this quite the beastly song. The second to last song on this album is a new song at the time of this CD release, and it's called Always the Same. This song was originally recorded for the band's album Flesh and Blood that was released in 2019. You can tell by how David Coverdale's voice is that this is the latest song on this CD, and it's more softer rock compared to the other songs on this CD. And it does feature the band's current guitar duo of Joe Hoekstra and Red Beach. The last song on this rock album Greatest Hits CD is the title track from the Forevermore album. This is the longest song of this CD, being over 7 minutes long, and it is quite the epic rock ballad. It starts off acoustically for a bit, then it ends with a Led Zeppelin-esque chord sequence that features some great guitar solos, etc. as well. And it is both Doug Aldrich and Red Beach that play guitars on this song. Overall, this isn't a bad Whitesnake compilation, and I do really recommend you buy this Red, White and Blues trilogy. Main great thing of this CD and the other two CDs in the trilogy is that, along with the classic Whitesnake songs that we know and love, it also features a lot of the newer Whitesnake stuff as well. When I say newer stuff, I mean like Restless Heart album onwards. And some of this newer stuff, a lot of us probably aren't as familiar with. And I must admit, a lot of that newer stuff I'm talking about is actually really good. So that's it for this latest classic CD review. Don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications, please. Leave a nice little comment below and check out my other videos and playlists I created. Cheers.